Welcome in Bordeaux! Ladies and gentlemen, American people, welcome in Bordeaux. I present you, my name is Bruno Beurrier, I'm guide in Bordeaux and around it, and it's a surreal pleasure for me to receive you in my city, Bordeaux. And today I try to explain to you the relation between Bordeaux city and Bordeaux wine. On my back, you have amazing symbol of your country. Listen to me, at the 18th century, Bordeaux is a place to be, to do business. And Mr. Fenwick is a so young merchant from your young country of the United States. Mr. Fenwick, who became so rich in Bordeaux, and he commanded to the Bordelais architect Dufas his private house on the front of the Garonne River and on the beginning of Chartrons area. When you speak with people from Bordeaux, Chartrons is an amazing symbol of the area between the middle of the 18th century and beginning of 20th century about business wine. All the building on the front of you is the private house of wine merchant, the place where you realize Bordeaux wine. Never forget, every day people create a new wine. And is this view of Chartrons area is an amazing symbol where Bordeaux and wine is an incredible symbol. On the back of this area, you have the wine city, La Cité du Vin, that I present you in a few minutes. Now we are on the front of a wine merchant building from Bordeaux, so typical in Chartrons area, this one from the 18th century. Today this one is a wine museum and present to you the history of Chartrons area during the 18th and 19th century. Just a detail I like to tell you, everyone. Perhaps you remember your third American president, Thomas Jefferson, arrived in Bordeaux, in France, at the end of the 18th century, and he decided to organize a private tour in France and discovers the different wine in France. And when he arrived in Bordeaux, he passed few days. It was in 1787, and he discovered amazing Bordeaux wine, and this one it was Chateau Latour, Chateau Aubryon, the future Lafite Rothschild, and the last one Chateau Margaux. In 1855, 1 century after, when the Emperor Napoleon III organized a universal exhibition in Paris, he explained to the merchant from Bordeaux, I want the top of your wine. And listen to me, it's the first classification of 1855, and in the first Grand Cru, you can find Chateau Margaux, Lafite Rothschild, Chateau Latour, Chateau Aubryon, and Chateau Mouton Rothschild. Amazing, in 1 century, between the 18th and 19th century, the top of this Bordeaux wine is always the same chateau. We are on the front of the wine city, La Cité du Vin of Bordeaux. On your back, you have just the Garonne River, and this building just near the Garonne River in Bordeaux Center is a big symbol between the union of Bordeaux wine and Bordeaux. The idea comes from the mayor from Bordeaux, Monsieur Alain Juppé, to have the idea to realize this one inside a foundation. And they propose to the public to understand the different wine civilization around the wine everywhere in the world. You can find wine from Napa Valley, California, from South Africa, Australian or middle of Europe, and Bordeaux wine too. When you look at this building, the idea of the two architects from Paris, of the architect X2, they have the idea to realize the movement of some wine in the glass when you are tasting wine. After you like or not, but you must know that this building so round, okay? And listen to me, you must come to visit this building, and on the top, at the end of your tour, you have a wine tasting of between 80 bottles of wine in the world, and you choose an Australian or a French or Burgundy, Bordeaux, or an American wine on the top and with a fabulous view. Another place from Bordeaux about Bordeaux wine is this square where we are. The name of this one is Place de la Bourse. This one is an amazing symbol of the business place of Bordeaux at the 18th century. We became so rich at the 18th century because Bordeaux, don't forget, is the port, and on your back you have the docks on the front of the Garonne River. It's a time of importation and exportation of coffee, sugarcane, spice, indigo, chocolate, and is a new market for the exportation of Bordeaux wine. Because don't forget, the most important time of Bordeaux wine is the Middle Ages time. I have a dream, and it's a pleasure for me to show you this dream. I present you the future decoration of the steps of my home. Look, around me, you have the top of the Bordeaux wine in l'Intendant store. Is a Duclos merchant with the owner, and the owner of Duclos Marchand is the famous owner of Château Pétrus in Pomerol. Around you, amazing. You have all the Bordeaux wine between the reds, the white, and the rosé wine. Never forget, 40 different Bordeaux wine appellations around the city. If you like wine, it's a paradise to live here. And 5,000 chateaux around Bordeaux. If you remember when I present you the Cité du Vin in Bordeaux, you remember I told you the idea of the two architects. It was a representation of the movement of some wine in a glass, always so round. Look at here. The idea to present all the Bordeaux wine around the steps is an amazing idea. Another symbol from Bordeaux, we are on the front of the Gothic gate from the 14th century of Saint-Andrew Cathedral. I'm so happy to present you Monseigneur Bertrand de Got. When you say that to the people from Bordeaux, they don't know. They know the other name of this one, the famous Clement V, our first French Pope in Avignon city. Why I speak about this man? If you're living in Bordeaux center, I told you, vineyards is just around us. Take a car and 3 kilometers on the west side from Bordeaux, you arrive in the famous Bordeaux wine Château Pape Clément in Pessac-Léognan Bordeaux wine appellation. It's this man. And now, everyone, we are inside a restaurant from Bordeaux. You must know that you can find wine bar everywhere in Bordeaux. But here, this one is a restaurant a little bit so special. You are sure that you understand what I mean? Restaurant, gastronomy, and wine. And it's a real pleasure for me to present you the manager, director of Toutiac restaurant, Pierre-Alexis. Pierre-Alexis, welcome.
Hello and welcome.
Look. Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers. Santé.
Santé. Tell me about your restaurant. What is your the specialized proposition for the customers who are coming in your restaurant?
Okay, so the restaurant is very special because the owners are different growers in Bordeaux.
Yep.
From Blaye to Sauternes to Médoc.
Yep.
And I'm in charge. I'm the chef sommelier and director. We have different some here in the restaurant. We do a French cuisine, Southwest cuisine, with a bit of creativity, and my specialty is to have more than 200 wines here from France.
Pierre-Alexis, can you speak about your gastronomic specialize, what you propose exactly?
Okay, so the chef, Valentin Thompson, is very young. He's 23 years old, and so tries to make some French dishes, but with a lot of creativity. I mean some duck breast or premium rib beef with different sausage with cherries and strawberries. Also we do some beef tartare with Basque influences and French toast with salty caramel, for sure.
You understand what I mean? The Bordeaux is a place to be for wine tasting, but for French gastronomy and the union between gastronomy and wine, it's in Bordeaux. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the front of the fountain of Place des Quinconces with the fountain of La Colonne des Girondins. This one is a present of the Third Republic at the end of 19th century to the souvenir of the députés of Gironde who were guillotined by Robespierre during the French Revolution. If you can see just on my right, you can see a sculpture of the fountain who represent another symbol from Bordeaux of vineyards with some grapes. And everywhere when you're in Bordeaux, you can see some detailed symbol of wine, Bordeaux wine in the center. It was a surreal pleasure for me to show you my city, and all the time when I'm with tourists in Bordeaux. And in conclusion, I hope to give you the idea to come back in Bordeaux. And I explained my grandmother when she received in her home, she said all the time, un petit goût de revenez-y. It was a real pleasure. Bye bye everyone.